Hey everyone, Carrie back here with Family eBiz, where we help you take your business to the next level. Whether you're getting started, whether you're making a part-time income, or even if you're full-time income, we want to help you increase whatever it is. Today, what I want to talk to you about is getting more done in a limited amount of time. Let's say you just have 1 hour a day to work. I have come across a few productivity tips that I have not really ever talked about. Some talked about, but some of them I haven't. And we are going to start with what I think has helped me so much just this week. I started this little thing a week or two ago, and it has to do, if you're watching on a video, with a phone. Here's what it is. If I am working upstairs, my phone is downstairs. It is far away from me. Now it is sitting here because it's a prop right now. But if I'm working here, I'm going to go put my phone on the other side of the house. It is not going to sit next to me. And I will tell you what's been happening. I'm in some group text, and there's one group in particular, and they are not active every day, but once someone posts something in it, I will open up my phone and it will have that little red dot and 20 plus or something on there. It is like crazy, all the responses people are having. And that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying every time it will just distract me, even when I don't even want to look, because I can hear it going off. So now at first I was like, Carrie, you use your phone all day long for work. Well, I realized that I don't need my phone. I was using a way to track my jobs, my tasks. I wanted to see how I was spending my time. And I used something called Toggle Track. And I thought, it's on my phone. You're right, it's an app, but I can do it on the computer. So when I sit down to actually work, I can go into Toggle Track on the computer, and then I don't have to have my phone. There is nothing so important on this phone that I have to do it immediately. And I know you're going to go, what if there's an emergency? Well, that hadn't happened so far. And if there is an emergency, I think this thing would start going off so much that I would come downstairs and find out if someone was calling me every 2 minutes. And so that is just an excuse to keep this is a pacifier for most people. This phone is a pacifier. The other thing my son told me, and we were out last week, what was last weekend? I'm recording this after Easter, and we had gone out to eat for lunch for Easter. And I was sort of telling him about this, and I have the phone on the other side of the house, somewhere far away from me, so that I'm not even tempted to. And the thing is, it's not like I was going to respond or type a text, but every time it would pop up. So if you still can't get rid, that's the best thing to do. And I learned this. A friend of mine, Craig Valentine, was talking about this, and I was like, I'm going to do what Craig is telling us to do. The thing Hunter told me is if your phone is face up, you will get less done because you're seeing it out the corner of your eye. I was like, oh, well, even when I had it next to me, I had it face down, but you could hear it moving. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what are all those people talking about? So, tip number one, get this phone in another room, even if you have to go put it in the drawer in your bedroom, somewhere far away, because if it's not around you, you'll be able to get more done. Now, the other thing is, if you have an hour, I host a co-working session with my mastermind members once a month. And I'm telling you, I am focused. I am focused. I am going to get that work done. I got 1 hour to work on this one task, and I'm not going to do anything else. So I think it's important that if you have a limited amount of time, you treat it like a co-working session. So let's say you have 1 hour each day to work. You treat it like that. Here are the sort of tips that I would encourage you to do. Number one, you know before you get there exactly what you're going to do. And one way that you can do this is at the end of the day, you write down a list or whatever of what you need to get done the next day. Because a lot of you will spend, let's say there's 1 hour that you're going to work. You'll spend 15 minutes trying to make a list of what you need to do. You need to know before you ever sit down to work exactly what you're going to do. So know before you start. So you've got that 1 hour. Besides getting rid of the phone, You know before you start, before you sit down, exactly what you're going to work on. Yesterday, I went to the coffee shop and I knew I was going to work on Homeschool Superheroes while I was there. I knew exactly what I needed to get done. And so that's exactly, I sat down and I spent 2 or 3 hours working on all the prep work, sent the email out to potential speakers and that type of thing. So know before you start, focus, close all the tabs, especially your social media. That is one thing I try to do is close out whatever browser has Facebook on it. I don't really like Facebook, but it is part of my business and I can get sucked into even the business aspect of replying to students and replying to my followers. That's a good thing to do for business, but it will distract me. And if I go into Facebook to send a DM and it's business related, all of a sudden I spent 15 minutes doing that. So I don't do social media when I have a limited amount of time. I do that some other time. So close out all those extra tabs or browsers or whatever that is distracting and only open up exactly what you need to get that task done. So first, we're getting rid of the phone. We're moving it somewhere else away from you. Two, you're going to treat this like a co-working hour that you are all working together, even though it's just you. Just trick yourself into thinking this. Know what you want to do before you get started. Focus on exactly what that task is. Have everything ready. You don't want to spend, like for me, I actually have real manila folders with real paper that I will use. And if I need that for a task, I'm going to know exactly where it is, maybe pull it out the night before. So what I would say is then you work for your 1 hour and then maybe stop 2 or 3 minutes early and make a list of exactly what you need to do tomorrow, just one day. You'll know right then where you are and what you need to do. Because when I make the list the night before, the end of the day before, then I can sit down and know exactly what I need to do. And I'm not going to waste a bunch of time. So a lot of it is just sort of maybe tricking your mind into being more productive. And then I would really encourage you to do social media and email another time at the end of the day. Do whatever you need to do for your thinking process, like writing and outlining and creating. Do all of that first thing. And then all the busy work, like email and social media and all that, do that later, some other time than when you have focus work time. So I know this is quick and easy. It's not easy. It's a quick little suggestion for you for this podcast, but really these are something I will tell you, this phone thing has been life-changing for me. Get phone in another room so that you don't do it. Now, I will tell you, I use the Pomodoro method. I've talked about that before. You can go watch some other podcasts that we talk about the Pomodoro method. Basically, I put a timer on for 25 minutes and then I take a 5-minute break. If I'm upstairs, I come downstairs and I may get a cup of coffee. I may do the dishes. I may clean a bathtub, but I do something away from business. And that is when I may check my phone during those 5-minute breaks. And if I need to text someone back, I'll do it then. But I need to keep the phone away from me, even though I really, it's not like I'm super tempted, but it can just be so distracting. And I just realized I was spending way too much thinking about it. I was like, who is that? I'm so tempted. And it makes me stop. Every time I would hear that thing, it would make me stop doing whatever I was doing. Well, if it's in another room, I don't have to do it. So get your phone somewhere else. Treat it like a co-working session. Know before you start exactly what you're going to do and focus on what that one task is. Close all the extra tabs in social media. And then the third one is do email and social media some other time after you've done the more intensive brain thinking activities. Hey, I hope that will help you. Please leave a comment wherever you're listening to. I completely forgot to tell you to subscribe to our channel. We want to get this out to more and more people because we want you to have freedom in your business. I am Carrie Beck with Family eBiz. We'll talk to you next time.